Hi, I'm Kevin Matthews, Scottish film fan living in England, and as it's Noirvember this month, I like to go deep into the world of noir. I thought I would surprise Tyler by video calling him one night last week and just saying to him, "You know how to whistle, don't you?" And he knew how to whistle in ways I didn't expect. And I've seen things. I've seen things I'd never want to see again.
It's true. I
But
can whistle out of every hole.
Mm.
he's a human flute.
I'm Dave Gray, and this week I learned, well, nothing new. I already knew Tyler was a human flute. Sometimes it just happens.
Hi, I'm Craig. Film enjoy living in England, and I've got a little teaser for a future episode. You know me, guys. You know I like to delve into the shit, the really the worst possible, cheap, no budget piece of crap forgotten movies that no one else would make you watch. You've cursed to be on a podcast with me, unearthing these things and making you watch them like that. Like that film where those children did a Lethal Weapon film, that sort of thing. And about 3 years ago, I saw one that looked so awful, that's so jarringly sick, makingly awful. I put it in my back pocket and I thought I'm going to keep hold of this. It's going to be my nuclear option, my mutually assured destruction option. And today, I purchased it on Blu-ray from a Vinegar Syndrome sublabel because they're doing the devil's work there at Vinegar Syndrome. And yeah, the stars are aligned, guys. I might not even wait for one of you to anger me. I might just it's coming. It's coming. Just be scared. Be scared.
Yay!
I'm Tyler Hosley, and I'm like a life support system for a cock, and this is Raiders the podcast.
Yay!
That is the most honest thing he's ever said in an intro.
It is just a straight up life support system for a cock, a throbbing cock. So I went to the theater and I saw Predator Badlands. I loved it. I hope to God they keep Dan Trachtenberg in this franchise and just let him do whatever the fuck he wants with this series. It's just, this movie was so good. It's a sci-fi adventure buddy road movie with a predator and a whaling android. It's just, it's perfect. I love the chemistry between the predator and Thea, which is played by Fanning, Elle Fanning. She's great. It's relentlessly paced. This movie is so fucking fast paced. The action is great. Tons of new Predator lore. It's an absolute fucking blast. Trachtenberg is just, he's revived this franchise. Even though I liked the Shane Black movie, I know I'm one of the few, but I really did like that movie. But he put new blood into this franchise, and it's so good.
I actually liked the Shane Black movie a bit. It was kind of like the A-Team versus the Predator, and that's the element of it that I liked. I mean, it was a big mess, but I haven't disliked any solo Predator film. Alien versus Predator is another thing altogether. But as far as just Predator films, I like them all.
Yeah,
Shane
me too.
Black should have killed everyone involved's career, especially Shane Black.
Just let Shane Black make a film every 10 years, God damn it.
No, most of them suck. It's been 30 since he made one worth a fuck.
The Nice Guys is really good.
And
It's
that's
very
how
funny.
old, Craig? That's like 25 years old, man.
The Nice
Oh.
Guys? I thought that was like 2015. Right?
I don't care that much.
Sure it was. 2016. I just looked. Yeah, that
So
wasn't
there
that
you go.
long
Like
ago.
I said, let's make a good film every 10 years. And several shitty ones.
The one with Robert Downey Jr. was really good too. I liked a lot. The Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I like that one a lot. But yeah, I saw that, and because I'm going to Hollywood Studios tomorrow, I rewatched a comfort movie of mine, and I watched The Phantom Menace, which you can hear me gush about on the Star Wars special, the second Star Wars special, not the one where I Everybody forced me to watch Ewok movies. But
I mean, not
the good
the
Star
good
Wars
Star
special.
Wars special, but the second one.
Yeah, the second one, where we watched the actual good movies, the prequels. But that's me.
Did we watch the prequels? I've just totally.
We did. We had an episode with all three of them.
Oh wow. See, I don't remember that at all. Where was I?
You were
You're
there.
always here. We can't record without you. You're always here. You're
Huh.
the only one who's never missing because we can't do any Abyss without you.
Huh. I seem to have repressed that one. I'll have to go back and listen to it. I bet it's a great episode.
It is.
You've got so much power. You could just be like, no, I've heard your pick, Craig, and there will be no Raiders of a podcast this week. You
would
you
never do
can
that.
stop us.
I suffer with everyone. It's part of my socialist viewpoint. Well, I
I
I
get it. I
hate to
get it.
break it to you, Craig, but I listened to last week's episode and there was no mention of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Dave just automatically got a sweep with City Hunter. I wasn't even present. I don't know what was
every once in a
discussed.
while it happens.
I had kind of a busy week for me anyway. I watched the 2025 serial killer stroke cosmic horror mock documentary Strange Harvest, which I've been looking forward to for a little while, and these two things can be true at once. Like, Strange Harvest is pretty dreadful, and yeah, I mostly enjoyed Strange Harvest. It's a weird one. Like, it does a really good job of recreating like the true crime documentary format. I mean, it's set out perfectly like every true crime documentary you've ever seen on Netflix. And I get the idea that you could trying to tell a cosmic horror story via a format as like increasingly mundane as a true crime doc. That's a really solid idea, but the film itself, it's just not interesting. It's not compelling. But the worst part of it is like all of the actors on screen are awful, and that's something like I can't forgive. Stephanie was like outraged because that's the worst thing you can do as far as she's concerned. Put bad actors in a found footage film, and I agree. Like if you want people to get on board with a found footage film, the most important thing is that you have naturalistic actors, and these actors were awful. So it kind of screwed the whole thing up. So I'm not gonna like recommend Strange Harvest to anyone apart from like found footage mock doc obsessives who watch everything. I watched Frankenstein. I'll let someone else like say more about Frankenstein because I think we pretty much all watched it. But I'm it's a 7 out of 10 movie. But I when I talk about it, I tend to sound like I like it a lot more than I do because I am very enthusiastic about the stuff that I'm enthusiastic about. I'm really enthusiastic about the cast, especially Jacob Elordi, who I think is wonderful. I'm very enthusiastic about like the practical like production design, which as always with Guillermo looks stunning. It's just I have a bunch of issues with it as well. Frankenstein, even at 2.5 hours, you're not getting it. You can't do Frankenstein as a movie because you cannot fit in. At least not Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. There just isn't room inside a normal length movie to do it justice, as far as I'm concerned. So everything, there'll always be something that doesn't get enough water, so to speak. But I liked it. I liked it, and I'm quite happy to watch Guillermo del Toro like jerk himself off with handfuls of Netflix cash. If it was like bankrupting another like indie movie studio, I'd be like, come on, Guillermo, quit it. But he's spending Netflix's money, so I'm good with that. I watched a bunch of noirs. I watched Stark Fear 1962. I know that Kevin has watched that one.
God, if you're going to test me on these noirs, Craig, then I will fail. They'll blur
Okay.
into a grey landscape in my mind.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Stock Fear is good fun. It's like the first half is really, really good. It's got this incredible kind of sweaty backwards atmosphere. This kind of backwards redneck atmosphere. A really good cast. Beverly Garland. She's enormously fucking charming and sympathetic. She makes a ton of bad decisions throughout this movie, and yet she is still sympathetic. It's amazing. Pardon. It's amazing. Skip Homier is her husband. He's an absolute shit stain of a human being. It's a really strong performance. I really like the first half. It goes to some really dark places. There are lots of strange post-psycho kind of mother fetish weird shit going on, and it's really good. But the second half's not going to work for everyone because it really leans into the melodrama, and I didn't mind. But people are going to want, after everything that's gone on in this film, they're going to want some pretty solid revenge in the third act, and you kind of don't get it. You kind of get the protagonist kind of favouring self-determination over, revenge, which it worked for me, but I can see why it wouldn't work for others. But Starkey is good, and it's on. It was, I think, Nicholas Winding Refn did put the restoration into. He got the restoration made, and it's on Mubi at the moment. If anyone wants to give that a look, it's a good one. I watched A Kiss Before Dying, the 1956 version. With that's really good. Robert Wagner's character is an absolutely vile human being. The script really mines lots of organic gallows humor out of just the way his character acts when he's plotting and just kind of being disgusting. There's a scene where he's about to fake a man's suicide, about to shoot him in the head, and then he pauses for a second. You think, oh, maybe he's having second thoughts, and it's not. He's just noticed a photograph of a guy playing tennis, and he was about to shoot him in the wrong side of the head, and it's just there's lots of really good gallows humor. Really great performance by Robert Wagner. Really great performances from Joanne Woodward and Virginia Leaf as well. That one's worth watching. And last but not least, Fear No More, 1961. That was like a solid kind of paranoid thriller, Hitchcockian paranoid thriller. I really like the lead actress she's called Marla Powers. She's excellent. She looks like she looks a lot like my teenage mega crush Bonnie Bedelia, and she's really really good. And she does a lot of heavy lifting. There are some interesting twists and turns, but because of when it was made, it's one of those films where you're meant to ask yourself, is the protagonist crazy or is she part of some sort of kind of conspiracy? And you know from the beginning which way it's going to go, so it kind of loses that kind of edge. But the third act's kind of wrap up is very lazy, but for the most part, I had fun, and Marla Powers is really good. So. I'm not going to recommend Fear No More either. I'd just go and watch A Kiss Before Dying or Stark Fear if you want to watch a noir this week. But it was fine. It was fine. Yeah, that's me for the week.
I also watched Strange Harvest. I liked it much less than Craig.
I understand that.
I think, technically, I think they did a really good job because it was directed by one of the guys that did
Grave
Grave
Encounters.
Encounters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think getting the feel and the look of the mockumentary, they did really well. They do nail that. No
Yeah.
argument. It's just, yeah, the cast is atrocious.
Really bad.
And the script is shit. It's a bad script. It's a terrible script. Nobody talks like that. Nobody reacts like that. They were way too cutesy in their naming of things. I mean, they named what was the cops' names? Joe Kirby and Alexis Taylor. I mean, those are references. It's all references, and they're not good references because what they're referencing is way better. The lead detective, Kirby, was played by Peter Zizzo. Do you know who Peter Zizzo is?
No.
He's a songwriter. He has written he wrote the theme song for one of the versions of Winx Club. I think he wrote the theme song for the new revival of Blue's Clues. He wrote
Okay.
he wrote like 2 or 3 songs on Avril Lavigne's "Let Go." He wrote a couple songs on Jennifer Lopez's "On the Six." He's written like 4 or 5 songs for Celine Dion also.
But not an actor.
No, not an act. Well, I mean, the other film I know he was in The Girlfriend Experience. I don't remember how many lines he had. Not an actor. Not an actor. Not a good movie. It's dumb. And then when it took that turn in the last act, I was ready for it to end. I was so ready for it to fucking end. But here we are. It ended, just not in a way I enjoyed. So I appreciate it on a technical level. And I know the filmmaker can do better. I think that's the problem. The filmmaker could do better, but here we are with a mediocre piece of nothing. I
Well, you
guess
know
it was,
they had to remove quite a lot of AI artwork from the film after there was a lot of pushback to
yeah,
early screenings. So I think it tells you something about how lazy it is in places.
yeah. It's truly lazy. It does nothing interesting, and that's the shame. And it's a shame because again, I think there's skill there. I just wish that they'd had the drive or the passion instead of let's make a cheap ripoff. Yay! It's and it is what it is. I also watched Frankenstein. I'm sure other people will say more about Frankenstein. I didn't like Frankenstein. It wasn't Frankenstein. Uh, I like the cast, and the costuming was really good, and some of the sets were really good, and then everything else was shit. The CG was shit. The story was shit. The script was absolutely atrocious. Uh, the sets that weren't good looked like they came from an 80s cartoon. Like the fucking tower looks like an 80s cartoon villain lair. It is truly terrible. The way they reworked Elizabeth is just lazy and dull, and and like Elizabeth isn't much in the original, but this is not Mary Shelley. Both, and the fact that they end on a quote from Lord Byron really underlines the issues with this. Both the book and Mary Shelley deserve better. This is I think uh I think Craig is being way too kind with giving it, what was it, a 6?
I
No.
went with a 7.
7? Yeah, you're definitely being too kind. It's another movie where Del Toro is wasting his talent doing the most lazy, mediocre piece of shit he possibly can. Is
About
it better
5
than
of those
Nightmare
7s
Alley?
went to Elordi, to be honest.
I like Elodie. I like I think Isaac is awesome also, like with what he's given, but
Yeah.
he's not given shit. Mia Goth is wasted. Her scenes are atrocious. Just atrocious. Every line of dialogue they have her say, somebody needed to fucking smack Del Toro in the face for that dialogue. It is some of the dumbest shit ever had to spew on camera. And to be fair to Goth, she does heavy fucking lifting, but there's no grays, there's no ambiguity. They literally have a dying man look at the camera and say, "But you're the real monster, Victor. Why? Like you didn't
Mhm.
earn that. I spent 2.5 fucking hours and you didn't earn a goddamn thing." Yes, it's better than Nightmare Alley, but Nightmare Alley was a fucking cum stain that no one should have ever fucking watched. Like Del Toro owes everybody a fucking written apology and a cash settlement for that piece of shit. But this was just trash. It's crap. And I don't want him taking more money from Netflix. I want Netflix to invest in people that actually give a fuck about what they're making. Because
Do you know
Del
what's going to
Toro
be
obviously
interesting
doesn't.
now? I
What?
think some studio or other is going to mistake Frankenstein's success for something that for box office success, which is streaming success is not box office success. It doesn't take a lot to just press play on Netflix, whereas going out to the cinema is a whole different thing. So I reckon some studio is going to invest some large amount of money in Del Toro's next project, and it is going to it's going to crash. It's going to crash and burn spectacularly. And it won't necessarily be a bad film, but he will spend an obscene amount of money on something quite niche that not many people will see. I
You
think
know
he
what?
need,
I would love that, but he doesn't do niche. He's never done niche. I mean, not since he left Mexico. Most of what he's done is big, loud, ugly. I think after Nightmare Alley tanked, I think Netflix really just locked him in hard for a
the
song.
streaming is the place for him.
Oh, definitely.
That's where it's going to be a shame because stuff like the bad CGI, I don't think that was I don't imagine that would be part of Del Toro's design. He's just, that's the purse strings, and he's going to have to put up with that because
Then he needed to. They needed to change things. I mean, like, why the fuck is Christoph Waltz even there? His character does nothing. He means nothing. He's not some savage critique on the ultra rich wasting their money. And I wish he was, but he's not. He's a waste of the budget. That money could have gone to better CG if you're going to lean into that much CG. Why pay out for Mia Goth? And again, I think Goth did as well as anybody could have done in the role. But why pay out for Mia Goth if that's how poorly and how little you're going to use her? You could have found somebody much cheaper to do the same role and put it into the CG.
very true.
I mean, it's not like they even did a good creature design. They literally just stole a Slim Goodbody fucking outfit, painted it white, and slapped it on him. Like, where it falls short, I fully believe purposefully. But that's just me. I mean, he had $120 million. It's not like this was a small budget. He had $120 million. You could have done better with it. That's all I'm saying. That was the last thing I watched. That put me in such a bad mood. I didn't watch anything else the rest of the week. I just sat in my room and fumed.
Well, Dave, if you thought Craig was kind,
Oh, I know. Oh, I fucking know. And you're
um,
wrong, but I know.
to be fair to myself, I'm actually at the same place as Craig. Like, I think discussing it and discussing what I liked about it makes me sound like I liked it more. I definitely had um reservations with it. And even something that may seem little, like that quote you mentioned at the end, like that felt like quite. It feels quite egregious. Just like, yeah, you've taken Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. You're saying you're doing this classic tale. You are kind of, prostrating yourself at the altar of Mary Shelley, and you have to put a fucking Byron quote at the end. That just. Like, I'm assuming that's not in the last page of the book. I could be wrong, but I was assuming
No.
not. Yeah.
Actually, the book
You know,
itself has multiple quotes that would have similar things that would have fit so much better.
but I liked I I didn't mind how Mia Goth was used in this as much as you did, Dave, and so that meant that I liked all of the central performances. I do agree with you about Waltz's presence there, but I really enjoyed his character, so it was good. I was surprised by the flashes of violence and gore that cropped up now and again, so that kept me happy, and yeah, I kind of I did like that this puts the focus back on that central relationship of just like Victor Frankenstein being so cocksure and arrogant and taken down by his own hubris and being a neglectful parent, uh just being a bit shit rather than having to go with the classic Abby normal brain or any other major incidents that get in the way. I like that. I like the. It was a pretty assured telling of the tale from start to finish. The way it was divided up into the viewpoints and how you saw the development of the creature that you've seen in other versions of the tale now, but still not in that many versions. So I like that, and we had all that without having to swoon over a topless Kenneth Branagh every 5 minutes. So that's
That
a
is
win.
not the word I would use for that.
Well,
I
Kenneth
swoon over
Branagh
Kenneth
was
Branagh whether we're
swooning.
watching one of his films or not. Just every 5 minutes or so, I just the
Yeah.
vapors. I remember Kenneth Branagh exists. I'm like, oh,
But it's I think it's another one of those films though that's however you ultimately end up feeling about it. I'm always quite heartened when there is a film that's, I mean, no pun intended, but it feels like a bit of a lightning rod for a lot of conversation and a lot of people feeling the need to watch it and be in those conversations. So, I like that. It had the limited cinema release. It is on Netflix for everyone. Like Craig said, it is a lot easier to press play on something that you have on a streaming site rather than going out to the picture to see it. But it definitely feels like one of those must sees for you to make up your mind. But other than
I think
that,
there's like the victor and creature relationship and how it like speaks to like cyclical abuse, over time, like his relationship with his father played out again towards his own like son. It's interesting. Like I could have got into that, but you there's it's always diverting onto other things that are just not particularly interesting because it's Frankenstein and you have to do that in the short space of time that you've got, and then they get short shrift. Everything gets short shrift, I think.
it will be interesting to see. Del Toro takes a swerve somewhere now that he's got that out of his system, or maybe he'll be clamoring to say, "No, enough time has passed. I can really do." Um, was it Mountains of Madness, or was it Call of Cthulhu? We wanted to do? I think it was Mountains of
Mountains of
Madness,
Madness.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
Mountains of Madness.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they're like, "No, go for it. Here's your massive check," and
Lots
then
of
we just wait.
CGI, lots of
Yeah,
CGI screensaver backgrounds for Dave to rage at for that
I
one. I
know.
think.
We won't have a decent podcast to share that week because of the overwhelming sound of Dave's eyes rolling into the back of his head. Yes. Just be complete interference. But I moved away from Frankenstein and went, deep into noir. A couple of rewatches, a few new watches. I rewatched No Country for Old Men. I don't think I have to fish around for other people to compliment that. It's brilliant. It made me realize that I I can revisit Coen Brothers movies as comfort movies, many of them, and this was one I hadn't watched in a long time, but I felt like I knew it so well because of the images that are shared and the memes and that great clip with the coin, Uh,
Yeah,
don't don't put it back in your pocket. It'll just be another coin, which it is. It's just so brilliant. But I forgot how much I like Josh Brolin in it as well, and little little bit of screen time for Woody Harrelson for what he's in that. Just great, like all the cast are great. Kelly MacDonald does well with the accent. Tommy Lee Jones is it's a great Tommy Lee Jones role. Beth Grant does well. Yeah, it's superb and I love it. And it's up there. I I don't think I could be forced to pick one outright Coen Brothers movie as a favorite ahead of all the others. But there are always some jostling because I'm still a massive fan of the Hudsucker Proxy. I know that's a very particular taste.
Yes.
Miller's Crossing is another one, and No Country for Old Men. Inside Llewyn Davis is one that I love. They could all jostle around, and any one of them on any given day could have a top spot. And then to move right into something that will undoubtedly upset Dave for the week again. I rewatched Chicago, and I still really like Chicago. I'm sorry, Dave. I like Chicago. I like the songs. I like the staging. I still wish they got someone other than Renée Zellweger to take on the role that Renée Zellweger gets. I don't think she is the best fit for that role, but everyone else is pretty good. To generally great. I think Zeta Jones does well, although there may be a hint of slight, desperate look at me, I can do all this about her performance, but that works with the character as well. So maybe I'm just projecting there from her run at that time, where she was very keen to get awards and recognition. Queen Latifah's also great though, and Richard Gere. I just love Richard Gere in this, and I think he gets the two best numbers and is a real highlight. But John C. Reilly is a world class sap and is brilliant at it as well. So yeah, I still really like it. It's a solid 8 out of 10, and all that jazz. Would you like to tell me off now, Dave, or wait until later?
Why would I tell you off?
Didn't think you'd be a fan. I've not seen Chicago as a live stage show, and I think I'd really enjoy it. Have you seen any of the staged performances?
I have. I have. Yeah. One the ones I've
I
seen him have been good, but I've seen it.
I think I'd like it. Perfect Stranger was no good. It's a mid 2000s. I picked it because it could sort of count as a neo noir, but it feels like a really, really tame attempt at an erotic thriller, but with a 2007 Halle Berry and a 2007 Bruce Willis. Now, 2007 Halle Berry could be fine. Depends on what the film is and what they give her to work with. She's not given much. She can't do a lot. 2007 Bruce Willis is already down the other side of the mountain for his career at that point, and there's just nothing much happening here. And Giovanni Ribisi is the third sort of main name in the cast. So he's got to figure somewhere in the third act as, a potential victim or a potential suspect, because it's all about someone who may be, picking women to sleep with and then kill. Maybe. So you've got Halle Berry, Bruce Willis, Giovanni Ribisi, and pretty much nobody else in the cast that stands out for the right reasons. So like, I wonder where this will go as the plot unfolds. You can guess, and even if you don't guess, if there's some sort of rug pull, you still think, yeah, that's as unpredictable as they're trying to be. That's quite predictable and lame. I can't recall if I mentioned to you guys the other week when I watched Play Dirty, because I was a bit late catching up on that one. I don't think I mentioned it, but it's
I don't think
speaking
so.
of Shane Black. Again, 10, maybe 15 years ago, this probably could have been spot on. Shane Black adapting some of the Parker books. So that would be great. But of course, he gets Mark Wahlberg in the main role, and Mark Wahlberg is not good in this role. Mark Wahlberg's good in less roles nowadays, because the more that time passes, the more we get to be reminded of who Mark Wahlberg is. Like, as a walking cesspool of a human being. So it gets a bit tougher to watch him in any role where he's got to have at least a little bit of cheeky charm, even if he's a focused and really competent thief working with a gang of criminals. Parker in this movie has that little winky bit of charm now and again. Yes, I use the word winky again. I'm a child, doesn't matter. But it's it doesn't work. He's not right in that role. Rosa Salazar is in this as well. She's good in her role. I would say she's a bit of a highlight. Lakeith Stanfield, who's quite wasted. Keegan Michael Key and Claire Lovering are in it, and they seem like they've been picked for one main scene. Tony Shalhoub feels a bit wasted. It's just, yeah, it's a shame. It's not good. Not good. And
Wahlberg has
then
essentially turned into Mel Gibson without him having been Mel Gibson before. You know what I mean?
yes,
At least Mel
without
Gibson
having
was
ever
Mel
hit the
Gibson.
heights of
Yeah.
Gibson. Yeah. And or even having hit the heights of like Gibson on screen charisma at any point. And yeah, he just like there's stuff I can still watch him in and probably enjoy depending on how they are playing the character. But the way they wanted this Parker to be, so he's got his moral code and he sticks by it, and as I say, he does everything with that sort of nod and wink, ready to use a bit of charm if it can get them by easier than gunplay and fights. But it just feels like a mess that you don't care about. And yeah, last but not least, there's two. There's a twofer. I finally watched the first two films in the Whistler series, and I'm going to ask Dave questions. Dave, did you ever? I'm not meaning at the time, but have you ever heard any of the recordings of the radio version of the Whistler?
I have actually,
Because
yeah.
I know you would dig around that stuff. Yeah, is is that character always just like popping up to make a commenting later, and then otherwise not really having anything to do with the plot? He's like a trench coat wearing Rod Serling.
Um, the okay, so yeah, the Whistler was a host. He wasn't,
Right.
and sometimes he'd show up as like a Greek chorus in the radio show.
Uh-huh.
That's yeah. I mean, he's basically Rod Serling.
It's weird
Yeah.
because I can see how that would work for a radio play, and obviously taking that property and making films when they had success with the first one. So it's William Castle. He directed four. I can't recall. It's maybe just the first four, the first half of the eight. So I watched The Whistler, which I quite enjoyed. It was a familiar idea of someone hiring a hitman to kill someone. The target is themselves, and then they get good news and they think, well, I don't want to be killed now. I'll cancel it. But the middleman has been like shot in a shootout with cops just to try and track down the killer. And it's that kind of thing. So the Whistler has a couple of sentences that he says, and that was it. So that was okay. And I watched The Mark of the Whistler, and it felt like the Whistler was able to the character himself was able to make a bit more of a, I don't know, it had a bit more, a little bit of sass in a couple of these comments that he made there. And the story was about a guy who had almost the same name as someone else, that is due money. He reads a newspaper notice, and this person, if they want this money that's been left for them, they have to turn up to a bank to collect it. It was left by, a, if I remember it, it's like a deceased mother. So he goes along. Of course, people are wanting the the guy who's meant to turn up for the money, and they assume it's that kind of thing. I like that more than the first one. But with both of these films, I just thought it's like, other than giving the name to the title, there's no need for the Whistler to be part of these. So it just amused me, and I figured, as I say, I could see it being more of a linking device, or a better linking device in audio form. But I didn't get it in the movies. But they're fun. The two for two are fun. So at some point over the next 10 years, I'll get to the other ones in the box set. I have been pleased with my purchase so far. And
William
Craig,
Castle did
if
not
you're
direct the first four. He directed four
if
of the
you're
first five in the series.
all right, okay, right. I knew he
And
directed
all but
four, but I didn't know.
one and all but one of them star
Is it Richard Dix?
yeah, Richard Dix. Yeah.
'Cause he's in the first two, which I like that as well. I like the fact that he's in the second film. It's just a different character. It's it, it's a nice anthology show feeling with him coming back as a totally different character. But yeah, Craig, if you're after topping up your noir choices for the month, those first two are about, I think, are about 62 minutes each.
Okay, okay. I'll add
It's
them to the
just
list, but the list is already pretty
just
big.
nice and very digestible, for that reason. And that
All
was
right.
yeah, that's my main selection.
There's a Whistler TV series also in
Oh
the
really? When
the
was that?
50s, I think. It might be the
Oh.
60s. It was, yeah. But the best thing, the most interesting thing about it for me is there was an open, there was always the opening. The opening was a person whistling to the sound of footsteps,
Hmm.
and that got reused in the Saint series with Vincent Price. It's a good opening for a radio show. Although I enjoy the Vincent Price Saint also, so he's a weird choice. Anyway, this week we watched the 1951 Mexican noir drama Victimas del Pecado, aka Victims of Sin. Yeah, I know my Spanish is atrocious. My everything is atrocious, even and not limited to my English. And the 1995 indie black comedy thriller The Doom Generation. Hey, Dave. Yes, Dave. Would you like to pick a movie and tell us about it? Sure. I'm going to start with The Doom Generation only because uh, I don't know, because let's always get Tyler's pick out of the way. So this was written and directed by Gregg Araki. It stars James Duval, Rose McGowan, and Jonathan. I can never say his last name. The guy from That Thing You Do, Shrach.
Check.
Shaq? Is it Shaq?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the extra C in H. It throws me off. When young couple Jordan and Amy pick up a drifter named Xavier. It's Xavier. I know it's Xavier. I don't know why I wrote a J instead of an X the first time I wrote his name. I'm an idiot sometimes. Xavier. Things start to go crazy for them. Everywhere they go, people mistake Amy for someone else. Uh, Jordan goes further down Cuckle Road, and X has his own issues to deal with. Okay. I really like Gregg Araki's films, most of his films. I think Totally Fucked Up is interesting. I think Nowhere is great. Kaboom is really good. I love a lot of his stuff. I think he makes really solid things. Splendor is okay. Splendor's a little weak. I don't think it works as a screwball comedy, but I think he's an incredibly talented filmmaker. I do not care for Doom Generation, and I'll tell you why. I think it tries too hard. It's way too desperate. I don't think the jokes land. The only recurring joke I enjoy is Amy Blue being totally mistaken for totally different people every time they stop somewhere. Just that whole, hey, all these edgy girls are all exactly the same. Ha ha ha. It's a solid joke when done in the film. I just don't think the rest lands. And uh, besides Rose McGowan, who I enjoy as Amy Blue, the rest of the cast is kind of atrocious. James Duvall is, if you remember now, this is marking us as old, but do you remember back in the 90s, and even the 2000s, all the Keanu Reeves jokes? Keanu's such a bad actor and he's so wooden. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, right? Y'all remember
Hmm.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah. James Duvall is a Keanu Reeves joke made live. The man is one of the worst actors I have ever seen, and he is atrocious in this and everything else I've ever seen him in, granted, but it's really bad here. And it doesn't fit, it doesn't work for me. Um the the TV anchors are unfunny. Like the only funny thing is one of them is Peter Brady from the Brady Bunch. Heidi Fleiss has a cameo. Like those are fun little bits. Parker Posey and Margaret Cho and oh, what's his name? Dustin Nguyen is really, and Amanda Bierce. Like the supporting cast is really good. Skinny Puppy, the band Skinny Puppy shows up as a gang. There's a lot of bits I want to like. The problem is the humor doesn't land for me. It comes off as just desperate and I don't know, shaking its fist at kids, and I just don't think it works, and it's a shame because I this is one of Araki's most notorious films, and for me, it's just kind of a slog. It's not sci-fi enough, even though it makes eyes at it. It's not nihilistic enough. It's not angsty enough. It's not comedic enough. It's just kind of there, and it doesn't land any of what it's going for me.
Is that you?
Yeah, yeah, that's me.
Oh. Well, I'll offset that. I really like the Doom Generation, and yeah, I think I don't know, like it's another one of Araki's films that feels enjoyably sort of just offbeat and quite nihilistic, but in a way that's really sugarcoating the pill throughout until we get to the very end. I'm trying to think of uh, whether or not any of his other movies have a darker ending than this. I may be forgetting something really obvious. I can't remember how Kaboom ends. Maybe that's one. But I liked this when I saw it a few years ago, and I've seen plenty of Iraqi movies since. I still think this is a really good one. Now, Tyler will be able to correct me on this. Was was this the last of a trilogy with The Living End and Totally Fucked Up?
No, it's the
Uh,
it's the
yes.
second.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, it's the second one. Nowhere is the final one.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nowhere.
Wait,
So as
are you saying that this is a darker ending than Mysterious Skin?
oh, I can't remember the ending of Mysterious Skin. So I did say I've possibly forgotten one, and I just can't
Mhm.
remember the ending of it. So maybe not. I mean, it's just like it lurches back into that violence, and what's done is very. Nothing else is
Comic book
stood
and
out for
goofy.
me, but I'm maybe just forgetting because it's been that long since I've seen Mysterious Skin.
Mysterious
Would you say
Skin
that's
ends for me on a really like hopeful and optimistic note. Maybe that's just me.
right? Well, I might view it the same way as you, Craig. I really can't remember. Um, but yeah, so I've not seen Nowhere. From Araki's filmography, when you go back towards the start of his filmography, I've not seen his first couple of things, but I saw The Living End, which I really liked. Totally Fucked Up, which got a Kevin 7, and this, which I really liked again. This was like a solid 8 of 10, and that's me with his work until I saw Mysterious Skin and Kaboom. I really liked both of those, but this is I don't know what it is about this. I think it's maybe McGowan being the real linchpin here. I was going to say the glue that holds them together, but that just sounds wrong considering the the playfulness
It's
and
fairly accurate, though. I mean,
yeah, and the erotic content. But first of all, she's great in her role, like absolutely great. Uh, Second, she really, I think she really feels the most in control, and often controls the two men kind of either side of her, um, to sort of help them just expand their minds a bit, or just to help them be a bit less of a prick for a couple of minutes. I think McGowan's character is really great for that. James Duval is very just mopish, and I would say puppy doggish, but you're less inclined to want to kick a puppy dog away from your feet. He's more annoyingly mopish. And Jonathan Schick is, it's a bit over the top, and that happens quite often in Gregg Araki movies, but it just, yeah, I can see why folk might be put off by either guy, but with Rose McGowan in the middle, it works, and I think it works well enough at just looking at the whole liquids, fleshy, hypersexual mix that, could be argued in a way is like just one step away from being totally Cronenbergian. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, I said it. So I'm a fan. I like it. I like the fact that it was labeled as, was it like his most heterosexual movie or a heterosexual film from Gregg Araki?
a heterosexual film from Gregg Araki, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Or movie,
that.
a heterosexual movie by Gregg Araki, yeah.
That still makes me laugh.
I had only seen one Gregg Araki film before I saw this one. It was Mysterious Skin. Mysterious Skin is in my top 10 movies of all time. I absolutely adore it. So every now and then I will be chatting to someone online. I'll be like, "Yeah, I love Mysterious Skin. I should explore the rest of his filmography." And then I'll see lots of like laugh emojis and people like, "Yes, you should explore the rest of Gregg Araki's filmography." And I kind of say, I see what they were getting at now. Mysterious Skin is probably a bit of an outlier amongst the sort of movies he generally makes. Um, the first 10 or 15 minutes of this movie were fucking agony. Like I was horrified. Like the dialogue, the performances were wretched, and I thought, oh my god, this is going to be a long, long fucking 90 minutes. I'm not going to enjoy this. And for 10, 15 minutes, I really, really suffered. And then it just kind of clicked. I think it was during just before X turns up. No, it's after X turns up, and there's everything goes down in the little quickie mart. It clicked with me what Araki was doing, and it just totally like flipped it on its head for me. I could see that it was like a pastiche of kind of like, you know, Generation X, poser core, like MTV nihilism. Like he's taking the piss, he's having fun with it. I mean, there's a certain amount of affection because I think he sees the camp value in this kind of movement in the same way that like John Waters did with like the melodramas he would parody. So he's eviscerating something with, you know, a certain amount of love and playfulness. And yeah, so suddenly I got what was happening, and like I get also, you know, the guy being like a gay Asian American, he's definitely taken issue with, you know, the commodification of outsider culture and the conformity that kind of always follows. Just like Dave said, the gag with McGowan's character constantly being mistaken for other people is. But I assumed it was down to her the kind of post Tarantino edgy girl uniform and demeanor that she carries herself with. So kind of that flipped everything on its head. You know, I'm on board with everything this film is trying to say. It's an interesting idea and a really interesting approach. And then I started to enjoy aspects of it that I hated before. Like I could see what he was doing with the dialogue. I could see what the performances were going for. Like I enjoyed every performance in this film. Like I get that there are varying degrees of ability here, but I enjoyed them all. Like I really like Nicky Cat. Nicky Cat has weirdo side villain energy that he puts to really good use in this. The Way of the Gun, the Limey. It's just what he does. He does it really well. Parker Posey, I love Parker Posey. I don't use this term very often, but she is a queen. I love her. The main trio, for me, in terms of ability, it went Shaq at the top, McGowan in the middle, and Duvall at the bottom. But you know, I 100% recognise that Duvall's delivery is poor. There's a point in this film where he says, "What's your name anyway?" And I just remember being like kind of dumbfounded. But have you never said anyway before? Have you not said that word before in your entire life? How do you not know how to speak? Like his delivery is so awful at points, but it's also my favorite character. It's my favorite performance in the movie because I think everything about there's a lot of pastiche and piss taking in this, but when you get to whatever is honest about the film, that has some vulnerability and some kind of heartfelt emotion to it. That all comes from Duvall's character. It's all buried underneath all the deliberate excess of the film, but Duvall's character is the beating heart of the film, and I really enjoyed him. The whole film looks gorgeous. It's beautifully lit, beautifully framed. I just love the 16 millimeter photography. 16 millimeter film just looks so gorgeous to me. There's some excellent fucking editing. That eye slashing scene is really brilliantly edited. It has a phenomenal fucking soundtrack. An industrial rock soundtrack is really, really good. There's so much good stuff in this that I feel like I should like this film a lot more than I did. But I had one major problem with it, and I'm sorry, T, but it's all the fucking. It's all the fucking in this film is the issue that I had with it, and it's not because I'm a prude. I think cinema needs more fucking, not less. There should be more fucking in movies, but here it is just so boring. The sex scenes are become more frequent and very, very dull. I mean, I kind of get it because it's like it's heterosexual sex in the heterosexual movie. Maybe it's meant to be dull, but like the breakneck pace of everything else does not gel for me with this kind of weird introspective missionary sex. It's just really dull. Like I know those scenes have a point to them beyond titillation as well. I know they speak to the characters, they speak to the motivations, the dynamics between them, but they kill the pace fucking stone dead. Like, this thing should be a 90-minute runaway train, but it's like a train that keeps having to stop because your grandparents are fucking on the tracks, slowly fucking on the tracks, and like stopping to take a puff on their like inhaler every fucking 2 minutes. It's just you wanting to. I'm wanting to enjoy this film, but I'm having to wait for these self-important fucking assholes to come before the train can get moving again. It's really really frustrating. It shouldn't be a big thing that there are just like really there are these sags in the pace, but they really fucking make it hard work, hard fucking work when it should just be, like I say, a 90-minute fucking runaway train, and it's yeah. So I don't want less fucking. I want less boring fucking, less boring fucking. As it is, I admire about it than I actually liked. Like, I think it's a more ambitious film than it appears to be on surface level. It is genuinely trying to make a satire on like corporate nihilism, nihilism as a product, but it's just badly paced fucking is the problem here. Badly paced fucking, and there's a whole song about this on my pick actually, which explains the pacing of fucking and how you should fuck and what the pacing should be like. So I'll talk about that later. But it's goddamn. I never thought they're all really beautiful people. The people in this cast as well. Three really really like beautiful people, especially like Deval, who's an absolutely like stunning looking young man. But I just watching them fuck. It's so fucking boring. Ugh. I don't know. There's lots that I admired, but it really dragged me at points.
Strap in, guys. This is an all-timer for me. As you guys know, I just fucking love this movie so much. Dave has listened to me gush for this movie since he's known me, so none of this will be a surprise for him. But when I first saw this back in the early 2000s, right from that opening with Nine Inch Nails blasting over those credits into the club to the people moshing, then the camera just panning over that Welcome to Hell sign, and then straight into Rose McGowan's gorgeous face with a cigarette in her mouth, I knew this movie was made for me. After that, I had to see everything and anything Gregg Araki made. He's been one of my favorite filmmakers ever since. He's right there with Larry Clark and Harmony Korine for me. One of my favorite things is that it's marketed as a heterosexual movie by Gregg Araki, but throughout the whole movie, the sexual tension between Jordan and Xavier is so strong. I mean, they want to fuck each other so bad. The tension when they look at each other is just pouring out of the fucking screen. It's amazing. I just love that Araki purposely contradicts its marketing with every frame. It's wonderful. I love the dialogue. This is the kind of dialogue that's like tailor made for my sensibilities, just over the top, weird, profanity filled weirdness. And I love it. It looks fantastic. Every hotel room they go in looks incredible. Those stark, deep reds, the black and white checkered walls, the art direction here is just top fucking notch. The way this movie is framed and shot and lit, it's gorgeous. I love the cast. Yes, even James Duval. I think James Duval is good. I've liked James Duval in almost everything I've ever seen him in. He's even he's Frank the Rabbit in Donnie Darko too, which is another favorite of mine. Um, and I also have that Ministry shirt he's wearing in this because Ministry is awesome. I'm glad Craig brought up Nicky Cat because I love his character in this with his silver grill and his like drive-through uniform, just rocking a shotgun. He's so good in this, and I'm happy someone else brought him up because yeah, he's great. Um, I love the religious imagery scattered throughout. Every price at the register being 666, the rapture is coming signs. It feels like there's an apocalyptic doomsday on the horizon while being this like brutal statement on bigotry and homophobia in America, especially that neo-Nazi ending, which is just it's so fucking vicious. It's so out of left field, but it just works so well with the tone of this movie. It's such a nasty, nihilistic final scene. It's an 80-minute blood and cum drenched piece of cinema with an amazing soundtrack and just a nihilistic commentary on how repressive and intolerant American society is. I love this movie with every fiber of my being. And just Gregg Araki is a fucking master. I had no idea that Kevin didn't see Nowhere, so that's going to be coming very soon. Nowhere is just another masterpiece. So yeah, and it'll just give me the excuse to watch the my Criterion Blue again. Which guys, if you haven't seen this and that on Criterion, pick up that Blu-ray. It looks fucking stunning if you like the visuals in this movie. Amazing. But yeah, I love this movie so much. I can gush about it for hours.
Oh, that's very nice. So, fuck it. I'm gonna explain the next one too. I want to explain things tonight. That's the mood I'm in. You good with that?
Go for it.
All good.
Nice. The other film was Victims of Sin or Victimas del Pecado. It's a 1951 Mexican noir directed by Emilio Fernandez and starring Ninón Sevilla. It is about Violeta, a Cuban dancer at a cabaret in Mexico City's red light district, who rescues an infant from a garbage can, and how that decision displeases Minnie, but also leads her to Santiago, another club owner, and the awful, awful fallout years later. Um, I really, I really liked Victims of Sin. I'm a big fan of Mexican noir. If you have listened to us at any November in the past, I will have gushed about Mexican noir. You'll have heard me tell Kevin, "Hey, Kevin, you should watch more of these Mexican noir films." I have made us watch a couple Mexican noir films over the years. Not as many as I wish I had, but a few. Um, I really like this one. The Mambo numbers are absolutely excellent. Um, the Ninon Sevilla is phenomenal. She is so good, especially if you learn some of the background to this film and what was going on. Is works even better. And Sevilla herself was a fascinating historical character. She was a Cuban dancer who came to Mexico. She was only supposed to dance for a little while, but she was found and became a big star during it. And she was one of the first dancers to like pay her the Black and African American musicians more, and would acknowledge the history of the dances that she did, the African heritage to them, and she had a long career. I believe she kept working up until 2014, well into her 90s. Um, an absolutely fantastic presence. The film was shot by Gabriel Figuera, who just there's some gorgeous shots. Once now, when this, because it is a 50s film, so when it's inside, it is a little flat and stagey looking, but once they're outside, there are some absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous shots. Some of the black and white cinematography in this is fantastic. But the cinematographer also shot films for John Ford and John Huston. I believe he won an Oscar for Night of the Iguana a few years after this. He shot films for Brunel. He filmed things for I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain for it has been a long day. For a ton of greats, both in Mexico and in the US. He filmed a couple things for Tito Davidson. I mean, just a fantastic cinematographer, and he also did still photography. Um, that there were some collections of them. Woman of the Port, he did stills for that, in I want to say the 1930s. It's actually it was a drama film, but the stills he took have been reused in other places, and they're absolutely just gorgeous. The man had a hell of an eye. Truly a brilliant photographer and cinematographer. But I'm a big fan of it. It won a bunch of Mexican Academy Awards at the time of release. It's a good one that I think is just like most Mexican noir is just tragically overlooked.
Can I jump in while I'm here?
Yeah,
Yes.
go for it.
I don't know why Discord has been so nasty to me, but I'm sorry that I missed some of the conversation about the Doom generation. But Victims of Sin is yeah, I really like this, Craig, and it helped that I'm on about a 480-day streak on Duolingo, so I'm at the stage where I know that zapatos mean shoes. So at the end, I was like, I know what he's on about when he's talking zapatos. Um, that's always comforting to recognize one word out of an entire film spoken in Spanish. This, I mean, it was very much not what I thought it was going to be. Not that I had any real major preconceptions about it, but I did, you know, think it was going to be more about the noir than anything else, and it felt like a real showcase for a couple of the acts, particularly Ninón Sevilla and Rita Montaner, who maybe it's just me, maybe it was the subtitles, but Rita singing her song in that club was just delivering lyrics of absolute filth. And I was shocked and stunned by it. Every line was in. It was like that time. Do you remember that time Patton Oswalt was proving the silliness of taking tweets out of context? And he would do one that was like absolutely outrageous, but then the second tweet would give context and turn it into something completely innocent. Do you remember that little social media experiment he did?
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes, I
no.
do.
It was pretty great anyway. Rita singing her song was like that. Like every line ends with, you know, let's say a man wanting to get something hard or whatever, and then goes out a line about being the liquor from the bar. I mean, like, no, that's not what you were on about, Rita, a minute ago, singing your filth. So I did enjoy that, but I really enjoyed Ninon Sevilla. Tell me, Dave, because I'm not going to keep pronouncing it in 100 different ways. So Ninon Sevilla is I mean, just an absolute star. I loved watching her on screen, whether she was dancing around uh, wonderfully or being a real, like, strong woman looking to take charge of a situation that is, she didn't have to get mixed up in. I think she's like I was captivated by her. I have a new favorite actress from 1950s Mexican noirs. Okay, I don't have a great range of movies that I've seen to choose from so far, but she is up there with the best of them. And I would go on about everyone else who I really enjoyed, but the internet tonight is really desperate to kick me off. So I'm just going to end just now. I like this, Craig, and I'm a big fan of her. Like, people should be aware of her and the filthy lyrics of Rita, but mainly Ninón Sevilla.
You know, if this would have been in any other week, I would have totally voted for it. But spoilers. No, I'm kidding. This was really fucking good. Uh, The amazing dancing, the music, it's wonderfully shot. It takes on the themes of poverty and abandonment incredibly well. It even tackles sex work in the 50s, which I was not expecting at all. That was I just you don't usually see 1950s movies with pimps and sex work and just yeah, all that stuff. Um it's super melodramatic, sure, but it's like a maternal kind of melodrama, like a heartstrings tugging kind of melodrama, if that makes sense. Thought it was done really well here, and it's pretty dark for its era too, which I was not expecting. But at the same time, it's still pretty vibrant and it's like packed with energy. And it's also like strangely fast paced for a film of its time, which like things in the plot just develop super quick, which isn't a knock. This script is really fucking good, and like I said, visually it looks fantastic. The lighting and the composition in this is truly something special, and the cast is really good. The lead is amazing. Rodolfo is such a sleazy fucking scumbag too. Just I hated his guts, and that's just a sign of a really great performance. But yeah, this was really really good, Craig. Like I enjoyed this a lot, and like you guys picked these movies from like the 50s and the 40s and shit that I would probably never watch on my own, but you guys forced me to, and then I ended up really liking it. So maybe I should check out movies more from the 50s and stuff. But yeah, this was really good. I enjoyed this
Yay.
one.
Ooh. Yeah, this was first time watch for me. Totally blind pick. I'm really glad you all enjoyed it. I'd read that it was a Mexican noir musical melodrama. And you know, the first part is what lured me in Mexican noir because I like noir and I figured I could poach Dave's vote. So, you know, I was going for the Mexican noir thing. But this if I'm honest, this is barely noir. This is like a light decorative sprinkling of noir. It's a musical melodrama, but it turns out I really like Mexican musical melodramas. I mean, the melodrama works because the protagonist and the antagonist work fucking hard at making it work. Like Ninón Sevilla, she is like weapons grade fucking charming. She's painfully like sweet and but naive. Like she's got a sign around her neck saying "fuck me over," but you know, if you turn over that sign, it probably says on the other side, you know, "I will shoot you in the dick." She's just a really interesting, like kick-ass fucking character. I really enjoyed, and her performance scenes are amazing. Rodolfo Acosta, the antagonist, is an absolute fucking worm of a human being. Just the most disgustingly vile pimp. At one point during at the beginning, he dances, and I sort of got it. I saw he's so slick with the way he dances. Like, okay, I kind of get the appeal of this guy, but he just goes back to being a disgusting fucking worm, and he's really vile. Like, it made me laugh. I almost felt like the director's only direction to him was, Rodolfo, this baby is radioactive. If you go too close to this baby, your skin will come off. Because he just looks completely like disgusted and horrified by this baby every second it's on screen of him until it goes into that trash can. Like, I was thinking, what's wrong with this baby? This must be a really, really like poor quality baby for him to like hate it that much. But he's just a bad guy. Like, it's an angelically good character versus a comedically evil one, and it really works for me. It's just the right level of kind of telenovela, kind of heightened reality that really worked for me. But as much as I like the drama aspects, it's the musical aspects, man. Like, I expected that would be my least favorite element, and like far and away, they're the fucking highlight of this movie. Like, the performers are so gifted, and I just love getting this kind of cool window into like another culture, and to see things I wouldn't normally see. Like, every musical scene in here is fantastic, and best of all, like, they're kind of flawlessly incorporated into the narrative as well. Like, I didn't like. I've seen so much crappy exposition over the years in movies. I did not know that exposition could just be sung by Pedro Vargas. I mean, why don't all films have their exposition sung by Pedro Vargas? They'd be much, much, much better. Like, it's it's a beautiful looking film as well. Like Dave said, like the framing, the blocking, the top tier. It's beautifully lit. There's there are a couple the same shots used a couple of times with characters on a bridge with a coal locomotive passing underneath of them with all the coal smoke pumped into the air, which is just absolutely gorgeous. It's just a really great film, great looking film with a really talented cast, and just just one of those stories you can't help but get sucked into. I think it gets into too much of a hurry in the third act, but I feel that's typical of films of its era. I'm not sure if they film scenes in order in the 40s and the 50s, but it almost seems like the third act of a lot of films from this era cut corners, like they're running out of money, they're running out of time, they can't be. They're like, look, we've got to get this out, get this out, and this is of that type. It really gets into way too much of a rush in the third act. But other than that, it's just a really satisfying movie. Like the melodrama is melodramatique. The antagonist is so fucking antagonistic. It's a film of simple pleasures, I think, and it's just executed with real like style and flair and love, and I had a really good time with it.
Yeah, it's time to pick one.
Can you do
do
your Scottish accent again and pick for Kevin?
I won't. I won't. I'm
I
gonna
haven't
do.
heard it for ages. Come on.
I'm gonna give a. I'm gonna give a bit of trivia. So 3 weeks before they started filming Victims of Sin, Sevilla was forced to have an abortion because her longtime boyfriend producer decided he had to drop her because he couldn't marry the singing erotic star.
Shit.
Yeah, so then she had to do that storyline, which of course caused a falling out between them, and her career had a few years of struggle. If you watch it on the Criterion channel, they actually have an interview with the producer's niece, I think. Might be grandchild. She spills some tea, some
Ooh.
hardcore tea. It's like, wow. Anyway, it's time to pick one, and I'm just going to assume that Kevin would pick who are we kidding? Kevin would pick the Doom generation. But I'm going with Victims of Sin. I don't think Doom Generation is a bad movie. I just think humor is highly subjective. In a comedy like this, if it doesn't land for you, which most of it did not for me, it's just a slog.
I liked Victims of Sin, but yeah, the Doom generation for me.
I liked both, but like I said, there's a real detrimental quality to certain parts of the Doom generation, which turn into a bit of a slog. So, yeah, I'll go for Victims of Sin. We'll never know. We'll never know what Kevin would have said. We'll just never know.
We'll never know. But as it is, Craig gets a win. Yay, Craig. Golf clap.
Woo! I
Uh,
didn't sabotage his. I didn't sabotage his computer.
he
Didn't do
did,
that.
and he didn't tell me what his pick for next week is. But while I wait to see if he'll get in touch with me, I know Craig has a pick for the special. So what's your special pick next week?
Yeah, for B movies, the director I wanted to go with was Larry Cohen because Larry Cohen was fucking great, and it's a Larry Cohen film that I have not seen yet. I don't think we've covered actually, and now I'm panicked. But if we haven't covered it, then I would like us all to watch The Stuff.
Nice. That is a good one.
God, I haven't seen that movie in so many years.
It has been, yeah, same. It has been forever. But I get a normal pick, and Kevin will have one also that we will update on our Facebook and YouTube and other places. But I get a pick, and I am going to go. I'm going to stay in Mexico. I'm going to stay with Noirs to make Kevin happy, and we're going to go with "May God Forgive Me" from 1948.
Okay.
We're on Instagram, Raiders _of_the_ podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment on Kevin's awesome videos, sometimes weekly. We have a Discord, we have a Blue Sky, and you can always email us at raidersofthepodcast@gmail.com.
As
Woo.
always, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me, guys. Kevin, wherever you are, I'll talk to you next week.
See you
See
next
ya.
week, guys.